So I'm glad you're here. Welcome, Tim Morita. Am I pronouncing your last name right?
Yeah, that's correct.
And you have a school and a tent in your driveway.
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah. I guess it's been open since mid-August.
And you and your business partner came up with this idea to help support your daughter and the neighborhood kids.
Yeah, that's correct. So, I guess originally we thought when the school was, when school was about to open again in fall, that we made that a very bizarre assumption that a lot of other parents or families in our neighborhood would be doing this, popping up pods and supporting the local community. So we just went all in with it. We just hired tutors and hired equipment, and bought equipment, sent out invites to local kids to join us in our, we basically call it more like a study hall, not really a school, because we follow the PPS curriculum. So we're just supporting PPS. That's what we're doing.
So it's a place where kids can come and have some accountability check-ins with the tutors.
Yeah. At first we thought that it'd be a place where kids would just come in, be very communal, be social. We thought they'd want to be here to take their courses and things like that. But over time, it really shifted a lot. We found that it was a lot more comfortable for kids to be at home doing their online courses. But we came up with this system of it was called an academic assessment, where they would come in if they need help with class, and the tutors would help them with the problems they're having with homework and things like that, or technical issues. But the biggest thing we found that we're helping the kids was to force them to show us their grades and what their schedule was for the week. And just do that at least once a week check-in for an hour. So once we started checking in with the kids, their grades just started shooting up. Because in the first couple of months, we all made the assumptions the kids were telling us the truth about how they were doing their classes. And so a lot of kids who were really good students, their grades tanked. So we kind of got away from forcing the kids in the tents for hours and hours and hours, and turned into you have to have ultra focused time with a tutor to just assess where they're at. So that from all this stuff, all this investment, that's really what we came out of with this, is that the kids just need to be held accountable, right? But also you can't even trust them, but you have to get them to expose their grades and what their assignments are, which they don't like. They really don't like it that much, but it works.
So it sounds like it's changed a lot from what your original idea was, which is we'll have a bunch of kids that'll be here all day.
Yeah.
And now your focus has been, the important part is the accountability or the check-in.
Yeah. And since we got a little bit of press, a lot of what also seems to happen is kids get into I call it academic crisis. So the kids who've been at home since the beginning of the year, they never came in here, they didn't know about us or anything. Again, the parents work from home. The parents can't be their teachers because they're busy trying to make money in this terrible economy. So a lot of times the kids would just stop going to classes, so they end up with in crisis academically, right? And so what happens a lot, we'll get a kid for a couple of weeks, they'll come in, and then we're on them. The tutors are on them. They're checking their grades, and their grades start going up, and they get a rhythm, right? And then the kids kind of go back and do their own thing, but it's kind of boom and bust. So it's okay, for a month they come in here, we get their grades up, and then they're okay, mom, dad, I don't need to go there anymore. They go back home, it starts all over again, their grades go down, they come back. So the consistency thing is very difficult, but I understand it too, because my own daughter is like that. She's her grades go down a little bit. I'm okay, more tent time. They go back up. She's no, I'm on top of it. I let her get away with stuff. Her grades go down. So it's something that I think everybody is dealing with right now.
And that kind of is to be expected, right? That's how life goes, is you have these waves or cycles.
Yeah. I
have a business coach I meet with, and I'll be like that with her. Well, she provides that accountability for me. But then if I haven't seen her in a while, I lose focus on what my priorities are. And so that's what she helps me with, right? Is what's the most important thing to get done today? Yeah, turn in your math homework.
Yeah, and it's hard to do that consistently, right? Even my own business, we have a daily stand up with everybody remotely. And then we fall off a little bit, right? We're not as engaged, and then we're okay, then our projects go a little bit longer. But it seems like such a simple thing, right? That check-in, but it's not. It's not. It's hard to mentally do, and people are going through a lot of tough times right now. You know, this is really, really difficult for everybody involved.
Now, if you had a crystal ball to see into the future, what do you feel like in 6 months? What do you see happening with this?
With the school or with I mean, I would think that the tent probably won't be here. I think most of the kids will be vaccinated. I hope. Even if that doesn't happen, I think that people are really wising up that like the people that we have to protect the most in our society really is the youth, right? Like all these kids are getting the short end of everything right now. So I think it's really good pressure that we're putting on the government and school system to get these kids back in school. I wish that they weren't so ready to put them back into the way it used to be, you know, because I don't think it didn't need to get this bad, right? Like if we really if we had like, I don't know, we have all these public parks here, right? What if we did have all these outdoor schools? There was no reason to shut everybody in their house, shut all their kids in. I just don't think it was that difficult to make that leap to like just have the kids outside or just have bigger spaces, you know. Why do we need to go back into buildings? I don't know. I just don't understand it, but so
do you think there could be some blend of like traditional schooling and then some type of outdoor or even like parking lot or
yeah. I mean, do I think that's going to happen? Probably not. You know, like, I mean, yeah, that probably won't happen, right? It should have happened back in March or April, but no, I mean, I guess everybody's just hoping on the vaccine. I mean, I think that I'm hoping people be more careful though with infecting other people, not just with COVID, but just in general, better health and respecting other people's boundaries and space and things like that. You know?
This is what I'm curious about because I see people now in the bathroom like washing. I'm like, yes, this is how you're supposed to wash your hands. 30 seconds.
Yeah. And also, I mean, I'm 49, so I remember when I was a kid, like we never used to wear seatbelts or bicycle helmets, right? I'm sure you've heard that before. I mean, I used to say it all the time, but like, isn't this the same thing? Isn't this our bicycle helmets and seatbelts? Like, hey, wash your hands. If you're sick, don't go to work. Or if you're sick, don't go to a concert or don't go to a party. It's right. It's the same
still
thing.
Cold and flu season, even if it's the vaccine tomorrow, right? And you're exactly right. Stay home if you're sick. You don't get to go do your fun thing because you're not coughing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've always been a germaphobe. So, I mean, I'm hoping that will change. Like even when we had an office, if anybody felt sick, I would just send them home. But of course we were lucky because we're all technical. So you can work from home, but like, don't even step foot in the office if you have the sniffles. So.
Now, can you pop your screen down and show us around the space a little bit?
Yeah. So, I mean, this is the garage. So this is where the tutors are. The lighting's not the best in here right now, but like, so right here, this is where the main tutor sits. I don't know if you can see the desk. Right. And so we got like, fridges for them and everything. There's another space back here for the other tutor. Here's where the part-time tutor sits back here. I don't know if you can see this, but we have all these barricades. So like when they are here, so they have barricades. And so like we also have this barrier. You see the garage from the driveway. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. So we try to preach that we don't want the tutors to break this barrier with the students. So, when they do need a kid to come up close, we have this little rolling desk here. I don't know if you can see this. And then we put a barrier in front of it and we put a barrier on the side. We just make sure there's never any kind of shared space when people are speaking. And here, we have all our, I don't know if you can see all the desks. And then we have all the heaters and everything. And so, when we first started, we allowed the kids to come in and then take their masks off when they're in here. But once the numbers start going up, now the kids come in, they leave their mask on, they sit at their desks. But before they leave, they spray everything down with alcohol, so they can just soak it. All this stuff is nothing's really expensive. We don't care if it gets ruined. So they just soak everything with alcohol. And they leave. We have a little, this is kind of new, this little thing here. We have a little station. Sorry if I'm moving too quickly.
Okay.
So if you see right here, we actually have a temperature station now, so you can see it.
So the kids come in, they get their temperature taken.
Yeah, you can just like put your head against it and then it'll tell you
temperature, and then they wash their hands and they come
Hand
in.
sanitizer.
Yeah. And so also we let kids in one at a time. We don't let kids get up and talk to their peers, things like that. It's pretty intense in here, I guess, because it's like when they're here, it's hyper focused. In the beginning though, there was times when like all the kids would show up, like on Wednesday afternoon, the kids usually show up just to hang out, honestly. But now the numbers are going up. We're more focused on like doing that assessment, getting them in and out as fast as possible, just making sure the grades are high. Another thing that we're trying to do is that we're adding more information to our website, because like people can do this themselves, right? Like say there's somebody that wants to help somehow, they could just take kind of what our process is, find a couple kids in their neighborhood and just do it themselves. Do this. It doesn't have to be in person. They can do it over the phone, do Zoom or whatever. But if everybody is, help these kids with these assessments, it would help. I think it would help them immensely. So
you created this physical space that's got all these safety protocols. You've thought this through, but your hope is that the accountability nugget, is that what you feel like it would be an easy thing to replicate throughout the city and throughout the country, even if you had this system?
Yeah, because the truth is, like, this structure helped us come up with this. Right now, the structure doesn't matter. I'll be honest. Like, I thought it would be such a big thing, but it's not. The big thing is just holding the kids accountable, having the extra layer, and it's more manpower, right? Like usually the teachers can do that in person, but I don't know. The truth is, everybody going through this, they just need extra support. So really, the academic assessment is it's an extra layer of support for these kids. And like I said, and these kids are struggling, and where I live, it's these kids they come from money, right? A lot of the kids in my neighborhood, they come from money, and these kids are struggling. They have all the resources, right? If they're struggling, I can't imagine if somebody who's like worried about losing their job, or maybe they're worried about losing their home. How on earth is that kid supposed to make it through this school year? So I don't know. I just wish everybody stepped up a little bit more. If you have a little bit extra through these times, I think you have to give back. You just have to. There's not a question. And I don't think it can't be passive. It can't be just like throwing money at a problem. You have to actively do something. And so, I'm hoping again, but also I'm also hoping this is going to end soon, but maybe for the next few months, maybe if they can give a little bit of time to some of the kids who are struggling in our city, would be a good thing.
Well, and even if we went back to regular school, like if we could go back in time, right? A lot of these teachers have upwards of 30, 40 kids in a class.
Yeah.
So even just to check in with each child one-on-one for a minute per kid, right? It's just the numbers don't. Where that. Yeah. So that I feel like this support system, or this having another accountability system somewhere else, in addition to parents, in addition to teachers.
You're right. I think that almost. With the whole crisis we're going through, this showed us all of our weak points in our society, right? In our government and everything. Obviously, we have a weakness in our education system, and it's not there. They don't have enough resources. And maybe it's not money. It's like, maybe we really do need to volunteer more time to really help out with all the kids, and when things do go back to normal. I'm even motivated. It's so funny. Like I want to retire in like 5 to 6 years. Once I am retired, I want to try to give my time and resources to education, I think. And I never thought I'd ever say that. But I would like to maybe get into, maybe on a school board or something like that.
Wouldn't that be interesting? You take this whole like post-retirement career.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's plenty of volunteer places that would love to have you. Actually, a buddy of mine's on the school board, so if you want me to connect the two of you to.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I have some crazy ideas, but maybe I'm not sure I'd fit in with them, but we'll see.
You're going to come in there and shake things up. They're going to be like, who is this guy?
Well, hopefully I'll learn to be a little bit more political if I ever do that, to not be so brute force with my solutions, but we'll see.
Okay, so do you still have availability for kids to come and either physically or online?
Oh, yeah. We have a lot more kids, but like I'm saying, it's more of that check-in. Yeah, so we do have the availability for the hour-long check-ins and stuff like that. And really, we kind of design every kid's schedule, individually. So I'm guessing we probably have like maybe 17 kids now or something like that. But like I said, we're not doing a lot of tent time just because like I don't think everybody feels safe right now. So they're coming in doing the assessment, they're doing their tutoring, and they're leaving. But yeah, we definitely have more space. We have more, and also we have so many people volunteering now. We have people that want to do tutoring and stuff. So we want to connect those to people that want to volunteer with other kids in different parts of the city.
And what are the ages, or is it high school kids or middle school and high school?
It seems to work the best for middle school kids, but I mean, I think we even have some juniors in here from high school. But I mean, it's really like if the kid is like can take care of themselves. Like I mean, I would say like even from 4th grade to senior year, probably. I think the youngest might be a 5th grader. But it seems like who's getting the most out of it are middle school kids. That's the core of it is 6th through 8th grade.
Excellent. And we would find out more on your website.
Yeah, it's called equalgroundschool.com.
Equalgroundschool.com. And I'll put links when I put this up on YouTube of the website to get to the school.
Okay, cool.
And you're doing God's work. Keep it up.
Thank you.
It's such an important thing right now.
I mean, I hope so. But I mean, the thing is, like I said, it wasn't really that difficult for me and my partner to do this. You know what I mean? I think we were naive. We were like, oh, there should be tents everywhere. Let's just be part of that culture of tents, right? So.
Yes. Well, it'll be interesting to see that if this spurs some new way of thinking and if tents do start popping up. I just heard, I didn't have time to look it up because my client just told me yesterday, I'm in Selwood and in Garthwick, my client lives down there, and she said that outer southeast Portland, just over the line to Clackamas County, that somebody has a garage set up that's a little
oh cool. They may have contacted me. A couple of contacted me, and they were kind of like when the governor said that she wanted to shut everything down, they were worried they were going to shut down their homeschool and stuff. And we figured out together that no, because we have a youth program that we don't have to shut down. So yeah, it's been nice, like having some kind of communication with other people in the city.
All right. I appreciate your time. I appreciate what you're doing. Keep up the good work.
Hey, you too. Happy holidays.
Yes.